Hello, Internet, and welcome back to a new episode of Sherlock Holmes, The Insanity. Well, we've got the newest edition of The Strand, finally, after lots of, shall I say, problems with the game and its mechanics. So, without any further ado, let's read it. 2nd of December 1894. Storm of the Century. The colossal tempest many are already calling the Storm of the Century has taken hold of the Scottish and Irish coastlines. It has been raging for these last 2 weeks, and officials are alarmed by signs that the storm is intensifying. Witnesses report that the winds are increasing and waves higher than 40 feet have been spotted. The storm is taking a terrible toll in shipping and the lives of seamen. 34 ships have been reported lost, and even as this article goes to press, several hundred lives hang in the balance as seamen struggle against the raging elements. Sadly, the Royal Navy Rescue is presently forbidden to launch any search parties due to the dangerous conditions. Until this storm lifts, those lost at sea have only fortune and faith, which may carry them home. Their one ray of hope is that the majority of lighthouses remain in operation. Is that so? The roads leading to them are largely underwater, and their occupants, the guardians of our coast, and a sailor's last friend, are manning their posts bravely, though they remain cut off from the world. Her Majesty the Queen held an emergency meeting with her ministers about the crisis along our coast, and it was learnt that similar phenomena are occurring around the world. An extraordinary quality of the tempest that is savaging our waters is that it appears to affect the weather around the world, creating similar storms elsewhere. Reports from continental Europe, the Americas, Africa, and Oceania all speak of the rapid deteriorating sea conditions. Some scholars speculate that the force and direction of the currents around our coastline is amplifying the effect of these waves in the ambient seas. However, according to these same scholars, a worldwide effect of this magnitude would be the first of its kind. Alright, let's take in what we've just read. This is silly. I'm sorry to say, but it is silly. Now, from our point of view, from the gamers and the viewers' point of view, this does make sense, of course. Because having knowledge of H.P. Lovecraft, of his world, of the Cthulhu mythos, we of course have speculations that would go into this direction. We would expect this cult to try and rise old Cthulhu from his slumber, and of course that would come with storms, of course, the rising waters, this destruction of the world by tidal waves, lightning, thunder, and so on. That all would coincide, of course. However, for the sake of immersion, if I try to be Sherlock Holmes, which I have lots of problems with in this game, then there is no connection to a tempest between Scotland and Ireland and my case. Apart from the obvious fact, of course, that I need to look for a lighthouse which is somewhere in the north. But Holmes has ignored this fact for so long that I think he's quite forgotten about it. But Holmes would be hard-pressed to draw an inference between this tempest and his case. Although an open-minded person, is the soul of a scientific believer, and with all his bohemian soul he would deny a connection between weather and a cult trying to evoke a change of this weather. That would be ridiculous for him. He would not do this. He's a man of science. He quite often said so. And he abhors the supernatural, or the belief in the supernatural. He detests it. He does not accept it as a valid hypothesis. Having said that, he really would be very hard-pressed to draw this inference. Absolutely. He would not do it. But the game seems to indicate that this is going to be the case. That he's going to read this and say, like, the cult is trying to do a ritual. This looks like the first incoming waves of this ritual, the first consequences of the ritual, or the beginnings of this ritual, and I don't think that he would really do this. I certainly wouldn't, because that's like saying, hey, I know that Christians and Muslims and people all around the world do this. They pray, please let the sun shine tomorrow because it's my birthday, and if it does, then it was their prayer, and if it does not, then God was in a bad mood. But from a realistic point of view, and actually, this is Sherlock Holmes, this is London, 1894, this is the real world. There's no way in hell or heaven or in Erlier that any sort of prayer to evoke any sort of fish would allow this fish to pop up. The same goes for the change in weather. It's just not. It's not going to happen. So if this game now forces Sherlock Holmes to actually conjecture into this direction, to deduce that the behavior of the weather is due to some supernatural influence, then I'm going to break the game CD in a ritual and hope that Frogware gets closed down for 2 weeks because of lack of electricity. And if they actually contact me and said, we had no power for 2 weeks, it's your problem, then I'm going to start to believe in Cthulhu. Okay, what's this? Sorry for the rant. French police sputter. Undoubtedly, the French police are always late in its unbridled chase of the mysterious burglar A.L. Okay, so they had to add a little fun article to loosen it up. I see. Arsène Lupin, he stole something again. It's not relevant. Okay, Watson.
Holmes, whatever shall we do while waiting for dear Barnes to finish his translation?
We should go to the Northern Lighthouse Board, Watson, and find out exactly to which lighthouse Bart is tending to, because then we know where he is located, and since he seems to be the perpetrator of all these crimes, now then we've got him. That's the way. That's easy, huh? Shall we do that? Guess not. He really wants me to go to the wharf. Why? Why would Sherlock Holmes now go to the wharf? Is he really going to follow this lead of the storm?
It's elementary. It is a sea chart we seek. We must go to the harbour.
Why would we seek a sea chart? Why would Sherlock Holmes seek a sea chart? I don't get it. Where does he get that from? That would only make sense if he actually sees this as a real lead. And I just can't accept that. It's not... doesn't... Why would he... Why? So, he just returned from America. Talk with Watson. Talk with Barnes. Why would he go and seek out a sea chart? Just because of this article? This article that's telling him, hey, there's a storm between Scotland and Ireland. That's like saying, hey, a new desert has popped up in the south of Africa. There's no relation to his case. Unless, of course, he knew all along that he had to go to the lighthouse, which is in the north, and now he somehow says, well, maybe this cult has devised a machine to invoke storms, and since the lighthouse is in the north, and the storm is in the north, they're made... What kind of a conjecture is that? How do I connect these 2 points? That doesn't make any sense! Blasted, stupid game. That makes sense if you are a believer in the supernatural. If you firmly believe, yes, this cult is going to raise a terrible monster, and I believe that this is possible, then this makes sense. But Sherlock Holmes would never, ever believe that. Pure hogwash. And now I'm seeking a sea map. Why? Oh. Okay, unless these are some sort of coordinates. And Sherlock Holmes has realized that, maybe? Is that it? Because, of course, what all these people have to do, those in Switzerland, who probably left at Calais, those in London, who left from the London harbour, and those in New Orleans, who left from the New Orleans harbour, they all have something in common. They all have to ship people, drugged people, to that lighthouse. Right? And in order to be able to do so, they have to know where it is. So what if these are the coordinates of the lighthouse? But that would mean that Sherlock Holmes knew all along. No. Okay. Just for a second, I thought that would mean that Sherlock Holmes knew all along that it was a lighthouse. Which he did, but in this game he did not. But even if he doesn't know that it's the lighthouse, even if he totally overlooked the clue for the lighthouse, he still could think the following. All these people from these 3 places have to ship products, choir boys, to a certain place. And these are the coordinates of this certain place. So maybe that's why he's seeking a sea chart. Could that be? Hello, mister.
Good day, sir.
Good morning to you, gentlemen. Would you care for a pint, or perhaps something finer?
Thank you, but at the moment I have need of information and will have to miss another glass of your fine ale. More's the pity. Would you happen to know where I could find charts of the local waters?
They're all kept at the harbour master's office, but I'm afraid only those with port business are allowed to enter. I trust you understand.
Precisely. What I need is a chart of the Scottish area, where all those ships have wrecked recently.
Why?
Indeed. Such a sad tale. All those poor souls lost at sea. It seems as if the very devil is at work there. Hang on. A chart of the Scotland coastline, you said? It seems to me I have one in my room over there, behind the bar. Here's the key. Take it and have a look for yourself. If you find it, it's yours for the taking.
Okay, why? Okay, why? I mean, I know that he needs a map of the coastline of Scotland because I know that he's looking for a lighthouse in Scotland. That could also be, I don't know, Northern Lighthouse Board. Any Northern Lighthouse. But he chose to ignore this clue. At least he has acted accordingly. So he would have no idea where these coordinates are. Unless it actually sounded like he is drawing the inference. He is deducing that these storms are somehow caused by... But that, I'm not willing to accept this. That's not Sherlock Holmes. He would never do this. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous is what it is. Alright, you two stay there. Stare at each other. That's right. Stop staring at me. Stare at each other. Stop staring at me. Stare at each other. There you go. Now kiss. Oh, sorry.
I need something.
Really? What's that? Oh, really? Oh, what a blasted coincidence. Look at that. Due to some mysterious reason, this person has a photo of Lord Rochester. Of course, I'm gonna get a drink. Can't stand it anymore.